Hey, so this video is about placing a pocket on a pattern that doesn't have one. So if you are familiar with a Harlequin pouch, you'll know that there are no clues as to how to add a pocket, which is super helpful. But you might think, well, I'd like to add one. How do I go about it? So the trap that a lot of people fall into is they think, right, well, that's 11 inches. Yep, 10-inch pocket, that'll do. And it's far too big. So, as I said, I'm going to draw all over this one because it's mine and I can. Now, you've got to think that this is on your side, and that's a side. So I'm going to look at this now, and I'm actually, this bit here is going to be a seam allowance, so that's going to be on the side as well. So that's already shortened it down. Now when we sew this here, the side moves in again. So really the back of your pouch has gone from being 11 to just over 9. So anywhere smaller than a 9 would be absolutely fine. And then this is the same that goes with the bottom. So if you draw, well, you don't have to, I'm just showing you. So when I sew these together, this is my seam allowance. So this is now the bottom of the bag or pouch. So you don't want your zipper to go further down either. And the same at the top, you don't want it to mess around with the top of the pouch. So I normally say you don't want your piece to go anywhere higher than an inch towards the top. So hopefully you can see now what area we've got to play with. So if I measure this, again, that was just over 9, and that's 5.5. So happily say 9 by 5.5 is the biggest sized. This is a zipper pocket you want. If you're doing a slip pocket, I would say make it a little bit shorter, because if it's too close to the top of the pouch, it can make it a bit fiddly. But also, I always find if slip pockets are too big, then they gape. There is a way to solve that. So if you've got your slip pocket in, you can actually sew a triangle in the corner. So you might have two corners. You should have 2 corners, but your slip pocket is now the same size, but it shouldn't gape open as much. So happily 9 by 5.5 for a zipper pocket, and for a slip pocket I would probably say 9 by 5 would be your absolute max. Now this is the crossbody size, so it's going to be bigger. I haven't got any. This is an outer for one of the smaller ones. So if I measure between my corners, which is 9 3/4, take off seam allowance, I would say 8.5 would be the biggest I want to do width wise. And then if I dip by here, so there's my top of my box, take off seam allowance, take off an inch off the top. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 inches would be the biggest I would want to go that way, height wise. So you just want to look at what's comfortable. So I've got one cut out here. This was what I felt happy with because, you know, it's a pouch. You don't need a massive pocket. This one is 8 by 5.5. So that would sit really happily. And as you can see, once I've drawn my box on, there's 3/4 in from the sides. I've easily got a 6.5 inch box there. That is plenty enough for turning this one through. And again, if you're going to do a slip, I would probably say actually that might be all right, because once you take off the seam allowance, that would be absolutely grand. So that would be a good size for that one. It's all about judging, but just be aware of the fact that these bits, you don't play with these bits. This is your working area. I've got a large one here too. So it's the same. This is a bag, exactly the same. So I'm going to draw on this because this is mine. So I've got my box corner. If you haven't got a lining that might have a separate base, look at how wide the base is, and that'll give you an idea. So I've got my corner, I've taken off my seam allowance. It's alright, I can heat remove these lines after, it's fine. So that is actually, I know with tote bags they kind of go like that shape, but really if you were going to add a pocket, you don't want it to go past these lines. So slip pocket, zip pocket, that's 10.5. So you've got to remember, and the same with the base as well. You don't want it to go past this line here. That is the bottom of your bag, where your bag is going to sit. I hope that makes absolute sense. But whatever you're measuring, obviously slip pocket is exactly 2 size. I do that on here, I might see it better. So zipper pocket, obviously whatever you cut is going to be your size. Slip pocket, remember that you've got 3/4 of an inch for the two, obviously 3/8 and 3/8 make 3/4 of an inch. So if you looked at that and thought, oh yeah, an 8-inch pocket would be nice, cut it 8 3/4 for the seam allowances. And then the same as a slip pocket, you think, yeah, 5-inch slip pocket would be nice, cut 5 3/4. And I hope that hasn't confuddled. I hope that makes total sense. And there we go. Ta-da-da-da!